All right, this is homework 1-3 video. So if you go to homework 1-3, you're going to see a couple examples. You're going to do tabular method with division. We learned this in class today. And you're going to go to number 3. It says dividing with remainders. So up until today, the end of the day, we did dividing without remainders. So we did dividing where it went in nice and neat. And the answer was remainder 0. So basically whatever we were dividing by was a factor, which was super nice. But now we're going to see what it looks like if it doesn't work out so nice. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to rewrite this as 6x cubed. And then you should have noticed that there is a missing term. So first let's put in our missing term of 0x squared. And then we'll rewrite the rest. Plus 5x minus 8 over x minus 2. Now, the first thing I do is I look at what I'm dividing by, which is called my divisor, and I see that there are 2 terms in my divisor. So that tells me that I'm going to have 2 rows for my table. And then the next thing I do is I predict what my quotient is going to be. So I take my 2 leading terms, which are 6x cubed and x, and when I divide that out, I'm going to get 6x to the second power, which is called a quadratic. So my predicted quotient will be a quadratic answer. And quadratics have 3 terms. And they are of the form ax squared plus bx plus c. So basically what this is going to tell me is I'm going to have 3 columns. So I'm going to have 3 columns and I'm going to have 2 rows. So this is actually going to be a 2 by 3 table because I always say the rows first and the columns second. All right, so set up your table. On the side, you're going to write your divisor, which is x minus 2. That's what you're dividing by. And then down the diagonal, you're going to put your dividend, which is what we have on the top of our fraction. I'm going to highlight it. That's this. That's going to come out the diagonals, okay? So we're going to put, we want to obtain 6x cubed down that diagonal, 0x squared or just 0 down that one, positive 5x down this one, and then negative 8. So now what we have to do is we need to figure out the top row, because this top row here, whatever is going to come here is going to be our quotient. All right, so first thing we do is we fill in the top left box, and we basically just put in the 6x cubed, because there's no option except this has to equal 6x cubed. That's the only option. So you want to ask yourself, x times what is going to give me 6x cubed? Or the other way to do it is divide. Actually divide 6x cubed by x to see what goes there. So I know that I did that already over here actually, and I got 6x squared. So 6x squared times x will give me 6x cubed. If you're not sure, like in your head, to multiply those together, 6x squared times x, and move your little fingers along and say, yes, that equals 6x cubed. Now we're going to multiply, okay? So we're going to multiply what we just got, 6x squared, times the other term, which is negative 2. So we're going to multiply 6x squared times negative 2 to get this bottom box, okay? So we're going to get negative 12x squared. Now we're going to look down this diagonal, and we're going to see we want to obtain 0x squared for my answer. So this has to equal positive 12x squared for these to add up to 0, because negative 12x squared plus positive 12x squared equals 0x squared. Now we're going to look up top, and we have to ask ourselves, x times what will give me 12x squared? X times what will give me 12x squared? That's going to be just 12x. So thinking about that, 12x times x will give me 12x squared. Now multiply in. Do 12x, which you just got on the top, by negative 2 to get this bottom box here. 12x times negative 2 is negative 24x. Now you want to look down that diagonal and say, all right, I want to equal positive 5. So what would this have to be to equal positive 5? This would have to be 29x, because 29x plus negative 24x will give me 5x. And then lastly, we go up top and we say, what will this have to be to multiply x by what to get 29x? So again, you're really dividing in your head. You're doing 29x divided by x. 29x divided by x is 29. So if you multiply 29 times x, you're going to get 29x. And then multiply 29 by negative 2, and 29 by negative 2 is negative 58. Now, we should have obtained negative 8 if this worked out nicely, but it did not. So basically what this is telling you, because this box did not equal negative 8 for your constant term, that we have a remainder. So that means that x minus 2 is not a factor of 6x cubed plus 5x minus 8 because it has a remainder. So we actually have to now go solve for the remainder. To do that, we're going to set up an equation. The equation we're going to set up to solve for the remainder, which I'm going to call the letter R for remainder, is going to be, we're going to put a little r in this box. And we're basically going to say negative 58 plus what would give me negative 8, because you have to remember add down the diagonal. So same kind of thing here, you want to add up to negative 8. So I'm going to make an equation. Negative 58 plus what equals negative 8. And now I'm going to solve my equation I created. So I'm going to add 58 to both sides, and I'm going to get remainder equals 50. So the remainder is going to equal 50. Now the other thing I want to mention is, how do we write our answer? Okay, so how we write our answer is we write the quotient, which I'm going to circle again up top in black. It's 6x squared plus 12x plus 29, and then we write it kind of like a mixed number. Do you guys remember mixed numbers? So a mixed number, remember, would be a number plus whatever the remainder was over what you were dividing by, okay? So in this case it's going to be quotient, which I'll call Q of x, plus remainder, which I'll call R of x, over divisor, which I'm going to call D of x. But let me write that out. Quotient plus remainder over divisor. Okay, so my answer, my final answer to this division problem, if I put that all together, is 6x squared plus 12x plus 29 for the quotient, plus the remainder we got, which was 50. So 50 is going to go on the top of this mixed number, divided by what you were dividing by, which was x minus 2. Okay, so this is my final answer, quotient plus remainder over divisor. That's it.